Hi everybody, how's it going? Hopefully I'm in the Spruce Society. I'm pretty sure that I am. If you don't know who I am, my name is Bryan. I'm a platinum leader with Young Living on Melissa Kohler's team. And Melissa asked for me to jump on in here and share about a wonderful tool that I have started using. I started it in the spring, and it has been amazing for not only me growing my Young Living business, but also me being able to help people more directly with things that they've needed. And it's called the Zyto scan. So some of you may have heard of Zyto. It's been around for quite a while, and they used to do a hand scanner, which would take biometric readings and give you information back about different areas in your system, and then equate that to some of the Young Living products that could be available to support you. Well, technology has enhanced, and they started to do in-person scans where they could scan your face because the cameras on our computer, hi everybody, the cameras on our computers were enhanced. And so it could actually read transdermal blood flow underneath your skin. It would also register that your eyes were dilating, your breathing, respiratory rates. Our cameras can pick up some pretty cool things, and I don't think people realize that they're not just for photos and not just for like dancing on the internet. So now, since the technology in phones has advanced, Zyto has come out with a remote scan, which makes things easier because we all live everywhere. And if your enroller, your upline has Zyto and you don't live nearby, you can now request a Zyto link from them and they can send it to you remotely. You could do your scan and then you can plan a call. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Zyto in general, but for those of you that are in here, Melissa has this as a tool, and she's going to be rolling this out for everybody on her team. She'll be planning that and giving you guys all the information as she wants to provide more info for you individually, specifically. We have lots of resources, right? This group, we can search things all the time. We have great books. I'm sure you all have a reference guide. But what Zyto does is it tailors specifically to you. So you can take the report, and some people will want to take it and maybe read on their own. Other people might need a little help. So then you can reach out to the person who did your scan. But it is a very, very cool tool. I have the app on my phone, so it's hard to go live and show you that. So I have some pictures on Facebook where I can show you just kind of the way that it works. And so again, technology people want to know a little bit more. I'll show you the Zyto website that explains more of how the technology works. But basically, your cell phone can pick up that you're a living being. When we open up our phones with facial unlock, it's not just a photo of you, because then somebody could take a photo of you and hold it in front of the phone, and then your phone would unlock, and that's not secure. This is literally making sure you are a living, breathing thing, and it can tell biomarkers. And people will ask that. I'll show you the website where you can check more detail. Some people don't want the detail. But if you ever talk to a dentist, they can look at your gums and your mouth and actually suggest you go see somebody about your heart. So there's lots of things that show up in our face, which can indicate that there's other things going on throughout our body. And Zyto's been using the experience that they have in all of the scans to build this out, and I found it to be quite powerful. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it works, show you just some stuff off of one of my clients. I don't have their name on there. Just to give you an idea of the biofeedback that's provided and how I read them. And also for those of you who are brand partners and you're thinking about maybe using this tool, I'll explain a little bit about how I read it. The biggest thing is people will get a little bit nervous because they feel like it's oh gosh, it's a test. Am I going to do well? Am I not going to do well? Is everything like wrong with me? And that's not the case. This is a great step forward when you have a hard time making a decision on what you should do next or even begin with. So don't fear the Zyto scan. Embrace it because it's going to be a huge huge help opening up doors and really providing you information so that you can get out of analysis paralysis and not knowing a decision, and you can step forward into wellness. The biggest thing to remember is there's no wrong start when you're moving forward. Forward is forward. So I like to mention that to everybody that I have scans with. I've done well over 100 of these at this point, and I'm extremely confident in the information that the scan gives you. So after 30 seconds of scanning your face, you follow the link, you download the app, and you can do a scan. Takes 30 seconds. You just hold still. Feels like the longest 30 seconds ever, but trust me, it'll go by pretty quick. And then it'll populate information. It'll run your scan through the system and come back. There isn't an image. You don't see a picture. The person who gets the report along with you, your enroller, or in this case, if it happens to be Melissa, she'll get a report, you'll get a report. It's not something that goes out to everybody. And then it will break things down into different segments so you can take a look at it. It'll also suggest products, and I'll talk about how I address the products that are being mentioned. It should be updated now, I believe, with everything from convention. So I think those things are all in there. But yeah, let me show you basically the slides that pop up. We'll talk a little bit about those, and then a little bit about how I go through the scan with people. So let me flip around. Hi, everybody. Let me flip around my camera and show you my computer screen. Here we go. So when someone does a bioscan, then there'll be biomarkers that are in range and out of range. The in range is 88, out of range is 115. Heart rate variability, breathing, your skin age, and then mental stress index. These are just baseline things. So you can, what's a good BPM? You can search those things. Biomarkers, there's a little bit of a grain of salt with these, because you could have hydration out of line in one area like your digestion, but also maybe in your hormonal section. So hydration would count as 2 things out of range when it's really 1. So this number seems high, but in reality, when you look at your whole system, it's not. Then there's 4 core body systems, 6 lifestyle areas, and then emotions. So it goes into your detoxification, and it breaks it down, your gastrointestinal system, hormones and endocrine, immune, diet, nutrition. Let me see the next one. This will be a video. Inflammation, mental stress, and emotions are all down here. At the very bottom, you'll see summary, systems, product, services. Summary is the first page I showed you. Systems is where we're at. Products is what it suggests, and even services. So if this thinks you should be getting more of a massage, maybe you should be doing some hydrotherapy, a lymphatic services, it will pop up and it will give you other things outside of Young Living. Maybe it's yoga, meditation. So it's always great to take a look here. A big part of Zyto is not only using Young Living products to support you, but also lifestyle changes. May they be big or small. When you go to the products page, it will show you your highest ones that'll help with different biomarkers. And then also, when you go into each section, it will offer you the top 5 for each of the areas. And let's talk a little bit about that. So it's a pretty comprehensive breakdown with your body. But again, it seems like a lot for some people, and I totally get that. This is how I read, and this is how I suggest that people read. Obviously, you can learn more, and you can do this as you learn. You could do this for yourself on your own. If you're going to be doing this for any of your Young Living people in your community, what I suggest to people is you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Go in and search the 4 core body systems and find maybe the top 2 that seem most out of range. I'll guarantee you, for most people, it's going to be digestion and emotions. Oh, I forgot the thumbs up pops up. Those are usually the two, and we'll talk a little bit. That's my favorite part. So I'll wait to talk about that in the end. But what I do is I pick 2 or 3 areas. Rome was not built in a day. And so I will pick the 3 that are kind of out of range. I save emotions for last because people, once you talk about emotions, stop thinking about their body. And that's a bigger issue. We need to think more about how our bodies are and how our systems are all day, but we don't. We don't mean to, but we forget, right? How often are you walking and you don't think of your feet unless they're hurting? How often are you like, should I eat this? How would my pancreas feel about this? We don't think like that. So these Zyto scans are great when you're going through and you're looking at your body system first, and consider those your friends. If you had somebody who, was a severe diabetic, you would not take that friend to a candy store, right? It makes it, so why would you bring your pancreas there? So thinking of your body as individual friends will make you think of them more often and treat your friends a little bit better. You do have to give the scan a couple of grains of salt. 1, it does not know you and everything about you. It's scanning off of biometrics, transdermal imaging, and it's kicking back, and it doesn't know maybe what you ate earlier in the day. It doesn't know if you had something really emotional just happen. It doesn't know if you're on medication, and it doesn't know if you lack any of your organs. I had one gentleman do the scan, and he's like, well, this is just all wrong. It says my gallbladder is way out of line. Haha, I don't have one. And I went, haha, that's why it's out of line. So realizing that as you're reading through this, the scan's just being full honest with what it's getting. You have to fill in some of the gaps as you're reading it for yourself, or you have to fill in some of the gaps with the person that's reading it with you to help them better understand the situation that you're going through. A big one for me, as an example, is digestion. I've had a number of people do these scans, and I can tell now, I'm like, there is something definitely wrong. Your digestion is not moving well. Things are really slow. Come to find out, I've had at least 10 people with bariatric surgery, and there's at least another 8 that have, they're on like Ozempic or some of those medications. And I have over 20 people without gallbladders that have done these scans. That really determines what I'm going to suggest to them. So filling in information along the way as you go could really help the person who is assessing and trying to provide you better information. Obviously, we're not doctors, we're not therapists, and you don't have to give us that information. But if you remember that, as you're going through your scan, you could always say, that makes sense to me and I understand. I don't want to get into it, but I understand. And that is a perfectly reasonable answer, but you're validating at least we're in the right ballpark because we want to make sure that we're helping you out. So I think that's really, really important. Now, as we go through, what I've found is the top 3 or 4 areas that are out of range as people start to work through them. And you want to give it 2 to 3 months if you're using supplements, and give yourself time, right? It took a long time to get where you are now. And if you're going to make changes, you've got to be patient with yourself. You wouldn't ask a kid to learn ABC and then XYZ. So why are we demanding that of ourselves when it's brand new to us? So be patient with yourself, and be patient giving yourself time to change your habits, and also giving those products that you're using time to soak in and really start to support you. But I have found that when people focus on 2 or 3 areas that are more out of line, other areas that are out of line start to come back into line. So it's almost as though they are symptoms. Although I'm not a doctor, I can't say that, but you know what I mean. It's like something's going on over here, but really it's this area's fault. A great example of that would be, I've had people come to me and say sleep is the biggest issue. They want sleep support. And we do a scan, and I look and sleep is off, but it's not on their top ranges. So I say, well, why don't we look into digestion? That seems to be way off. And then I look in and I see, it looks like your Esophagus is really, stressed out. Do you have a lot of postnasal drip, or are you feeling anything up here? A lot of times it's, well, yes, I am getting kickback and everything feels like it's on fire and I'm a dragon at night when I'm sleeping. Okay, what's your routine before you go to sleep? Well, usually I like to have a big snack and then I go to bed. What's your big snack? It's Taco Bell. So why are you eating Taco Bell? Well, I was really stressed out at work today. So now we're backed up and we're at emotions. So emotions have led to emotional eating, bad food choices, then they lay down, which puts your body into a position it normally wouldn't be in, and you start getting all of that stuff. So it's not, and you can't sleep. It's not sleep's fault. We've got to go back to food choices and we've got to go back to the emotion side of things. So that's just an example of, hey, wait, is this really the issue or is it tied to something else? And in each section of like the 4 core body systems, emotions, you can tap on it and it'll give you the top 5 products. And you can tap on each product and it will explain to you what that product can support. It can also help direct you to maybe where the stressors are coming from. So if I'm in digestion for somebody's scan and I see that they have maybe present time oil and fennel and hope and into the future, and maybe lemon. Lemon is cleansing. Fennel is very supportive of your digestive system. The other 3 are all emotional support oils. So that tells me a big portion of some of the digestion stuff going on is emotional. And that will help people start to make decisions on what to do because, maybe you don't need digestive enzymes. Maybe when you feel worked up, you need to be calmer and it helps to relax your whole system. So I think that's really interesting. When you go through all of that and you finally get to emotions, I save that for last, because emotions will take over your entire reading if you're reading for yourself or somebody else. And I wait because I want the body systems to get the attention that they deserve. And once we've gotten there and they're like, yes, I get it. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I was doing that to my stomach. I didn't realize I was doing that to my lungs. I didn't realize, oh yes, I've been using all these chemical cleaners and, I've been feeling really off. Maybe their hormones and endocrine system is really wonky and it shows chemicals there. Once we've got all that and they're thinking about their body, we shift over and we talk about emotions. A big part of emotions, people forget they're animals and that we all have fight or flight. We all have a natural desire to preserve ourselves, survival of the fittest. It's ingrained in us. It's why we wake up and when we're hungry, we go to the refrigerator. When we're not hungry, we put the bowl down. Fight, go to the refrigerator. Flight, put the bowl down. It happens all day long and we don't realize that. And so it's a very big part of our day. Now, this is the most interesting part. When your emotions are really out of whack, your whole body will be out of whack. We know that emotions and stress affect our systems. For some people, I don't think I have any of my books right here. There are emotional support books in using oils to balance yourself out. So we know grief is stored in the lungs, bitterness in the gallbladder, anger in the liver. You can go down that road as well. It's very important to remember all of that stuff as you move forward, but from the biology standpoint, and that's my background, the biology standpoint is that when an animal is in fight or flight, its whole systems change. So if you have a lion chasing a zebra, the zebra is going to stop all digestion. It can't use any of its energy for that. There's no use digesting if you have a lion chasing you, right? So all of the blood gets pulled away and it gets pushed to their muscles to run. If it's a human and you gotta go, you wanna climb, make sure that your vision is good, your brain's functioning, you're breathing to get oxygen in and your heart's going crazy. You need all the blood. So the very first thing that's told that it's not as important is your digestive system. And we equate that without realizing it by saying, I have butterflies in my stomach, my stomach's sour, my stomach's flipping, my stomach's tied in knots. All of that is due to fight or flight. And the other side of it, and we make a joke of it, you scared the poop out of me. We all laugh. We all have been there where somebody startles us and we've said something like that. But that's based in biology. When an animal is being chased and is extreme fight or flight, its body will release everything. And it's usually not solid. So if that hits a predator, guess what? The predator might back off and it might save the animal. So when it comes to people, we have that, except that zebra is going to get a break. The zebra is going to outrun the lion. The lion's going to go away. It's with the other zebras. It feels safe. It's going to rest first. Then the next thing that it's going to do is eat. Well, for people, our lives are stressful all the time. Sometimes we can't get away from things. I have to work. I've got the kids. I've got to go to this meeting. I have this medical thing. I have to pay all the bills. All this stressors. So the lion never goes away. And we never get a chance to just rest and then recover. So what we do is when we get home, we feel safe because we're home. And the next thing we want to do is eat. And that is where emotional eating is born, is from situations like that. And then the first thing people do when they're home is usually dinner, right? Home, not rest. Home, eat. And so a lot of that stuff is lifestyle things we could change. Get home, go on a walk. Get home or go to the gym. Like do some yoga before you eat, because then you're going into that natural balance. See why I like to talk about the body first before emotions, but it's really interesting how much they're tied together. So that's kind of the broad aspect of a Zyto scan and the kind of information that you guys can get. I'm so excited. I've been doing this since the spring. Melissa and I have been talking about it even when we were at our retreat here together. We went over a bunch of it. So she's like, here I go. I love this stuff. Let's go. So she's got that tool and she's going to start laying it out for everybody to start to do the scans and talk to her about plans and schedules and things like that. But I think it's amazing. I think that it is very insightful. I think it really helps bring people back to themselves and paying attention to how they feel throughout the day. Why is your foot hurting? There could, what's going on? Are we paying attention to the things that are happening? My respiratory system's off. Well, I've been gaining weight a little bit lately. I should probably watch what I eat. It makes you think about your body differently. And it definitely gives you an impact when you feel really emotional and you're like, wait, we talked about this on my scan. I have to remember if I go too far, it's probably going to upset something in my system. So it's great. It's great to give you suggestions on what Young Living products have. And again, remember, you're a whole person, not parts and pieces. So you may do your scan and there may be suggestions in each area, but you may back out, look at your life and look at everything as a whole and say, what can I do from a lifestyle standpoint? What can I do from a product standpoint? What can I do for services like yoga and things like that? And then let's give it a shot. 2 months or 3 months, give yourself time and then redo a scan. You can do as many scans as you want, but if you do them every single day, you're not going to see the changes. You want to give yourself some time in between. So Zyto scans, as far as everybody who's a Young Living member and a product user, unbelievably amazing. So helpful to kind of get an idea of where to go, and that'll change. Start building up your digestive support and that starts to be better. You may switch out some stuff and shift to something different. The point is we want everybody to feel better and support it as best they can. When it comes to being a Young Living brand partner and using this, what an incredible gift to have to give to your people. You're able to sit there. I mean, we don't get to have the one-on-ones like we used to, and we are signing people up all over the world. This is an incredible way to basically get you a one-on-one with someone and really get to know them, really get to know their needs, really get to know their stressors. I've had some deep conversations. Again, I remind people I'm not a doctor. I'm a biologist. I am not a therapist. I I have a minor in psychology, so I kind of have an understanding of that. But I'm just here as somebody who's supportive, somebody who will listen and try to make suggestions. I have seen an incredible increase in people's what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence in what they're going to get and what they're going to order and how they are going to take better care of themselves, even down from adding more water to their day. I mean, it could be as simple as that. So if you are, well, everybody in here should get a Zyto scan. Obviously, Melissa's rolling it out, and there'll be a schedule, and she's going to determine that and give you guys all the information. But I think everybody should do it. I think it should be a regular thing, at least maybe quarterly, especially with everybody doing resets and stuff like that. And then on top of it, if you're a brand partner and you have other people underneath you, then learning how to do this and offering this to your community is only going to connect you deeper with them. And that's why we're in it, right? We're here to help people. So if you didn't know anything about Zyto, then there you go. And let me show you the website. That way you can look it up. It's super easy. Here we go. I'll flip this. Zyto.com. Oh, sorry. There you go. And then there's products. They have different things that are offered, like the hand cradle, but I really like being able to scan people anywhere. Resources. What's a biosurvey? Getting an evaluation, introductions, perception, right? We were talking about that. Mindset, paying attention to your body, all sorts of information here, and even articles. So this is just a fantastic resource. And they have, I think, knocked it out of the park. Because doing these scans, I have had people blown away that they are like, how in the world did you know this? And I'm like, I'm just going off the scan. And then I don't know everything. There's another thing, right? None of us know everything, especially when it comes to all the Young Living stuff, because only Gary knew everything. And so when I do scans, I let people know, I'm going to look at my reference guide, or I'm going to search something online. Let's find out the situation that you're in, if you're taking anything at all. Does it have any side effects or anything like that you've been having to go to, going to see a doctor or something like that? What are the side effects of those things? It really lets us dive in and get a better picture of where people are at. So, all right. Well, I hope that you guys found this helpful. I hope that you find it exciting. It's really, really cool that Melissa is going to be offering this to everybody in here, because I know personally, I love seeing my own feedback, but I love helping out all of my community. So yeah, let me know if you guys have questions. You can always shoot me questions, and keep an eye out, because I know Melissa has this tool and she said she's about to roll it out. So all right, I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.